everybody's ready to watch the game.
All right, so I know like you've got a bunch of stuff here. We've got a lot of memorabilia. And these are all like BMX artifacts, that stuff you've got going on throughout your entire life in BMX. And I want to get to know about a lot of them. I know there's a bunch of great stories. So let's start down here with like the Reebok ad we got here.
Sure. This was a like 95 or 96, this Reebok ad. So I used to get called about a bunch of different commercials all the time. And, you know, just like today when you get called like, you know, a Mountain Dew ad or something, and it's like, we're going to sponsor you and do all this kind of stuff. You don't know if it's real.
Yeah.
So there'd be calls and stuff that would come in and be like, yeah, I used to, you know, tour around doing stunt shows that we can talk about in a little bit. RWA, Riders with Aggression, stunt shows. And so I used to do like different ads and stuff. So this day we brought the quarter pipe into Chicago, and right downtown, right off of I-90, they set these ramps up. And all these little pictures and all in the background is me just doing air tricks on the quarter pipe right downtown Chicago. And then this just ended up, this Reebok ad is how that came about. I had to wear these shoes for the ad. And they gave me a Cannondale bicycle to ride for the thing. And, you know, it was all stock. So I had to do a lot of tweaking to be able to ride it on the half pipe.
Yeah, I believe that.
So that was a cool little thing that came about. A lot with the pit, so like, I mean, we can go right into kind of the pit stuff.
And like, so the pit's your skate park, right? How did the pit come about? So
back in the day, I used to have ramps at my parents' house.
Right.
My parents let me build ramps and stuff in the front yard, backyard. I had a half pipe in the backyard, quarter pipes and jump boxes and all kinds of stuff in the front yard. A bunch of guys used to come over and ride, and there's a place called Rotation Station down the street, but they wouldn't let bikes ride.
Yeah.
So we used to go over there, and I used to pay like $20, $30 to say, hey, can I ride like the last little bit of the session? Yeah. And they would, you know, at times let me ride and stuff. Well, that back in the day was when we wanted to be able to come up with a park that we could all ride at, that we weren't like, you know, shunned because we rode bikes and this was a skate park only and kind of attitude. So the pit came up with being private indoor terrain is what the pit stands for. And it first started where you got a key, you paid $50 a month, and you could go there anytime you wanted to. And then there's a rent box. You used to pay $5. So if you had a key, anybody that came with you had to sign in on the sign-in sheet and pay the $5. And if you got caught, then you lost your key and you could never come back. So nobody really wanted to mess that up. It was a pretty sweet gig. Yeah. So basically the pit started in 1993, and it went all the way to July of 2004. So like 11 years, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Strong.
Yeah, and like these are some of like the designs that you guys had for the merchandise and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There are different contests. This one was made for a skateboard contest and carried on. This was the original like STP design that Rodney Martin, another guy that rode on the Trek bike team, we'll talk about. He designed the first pit logo. And then this was just like a carry on. Another friend, you know, a bunch of friends and stuff came up with different logos and designs. This was another skateboard, skate nuts kind of shirt. A lot of the designs and stuff and a lot of the pit and different things, like there's a guy, Joe Black, he designed this logo.
Yeah, and that's on some of the skateboards under here too, right?
Yeah, we have some of those skateboards he designed. The logos and stuff. Super great guy. Then, you know, along the way, we had another guy, Mike Solon. He used to do almost all the artwork and touch things up. And we had billboards and we had all different types of events. Like they used to have this adrenaline section that came out where every week they put out new things with the adrenaline. And the adrenaline section of the newspaper pretty much came from the pit. Like it started, the guy that was the news editor here, he pretty much basically came out and was at the pit almost every week, just filming skateboarders and different things going on. The whole adrenaline thing came about from the pit, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And we did a bunch of commercials, TV commercials.
They don't push it like that anymore.
There's not. I mean, I really want to get something kind of going for the kids again. I mean, there's the outdoor parks; those are kind of going good, and it's great and all. But I mean, the pit was like more of like, you know, a close knit family. We every day we rode. The weekends it was open like all through the night. Even though after a while it first started with the key, after like a couple years, I had to just set it for hours and open it to the public because it was just packed. I mean, our busiest times are from 2 to 5 in the morning. It was just packed. People getting off work and coming from all around, and they knew there'd be a session going on. So they would always be out there, you know, everybody would just show up all different times of the day. I mean, if you missed a day at the pit, you missed a lot because there's always something different going on there with the bands.
Yeah, I believe that.
Different things going on.
So with the pit, and then this is with the midwear.
This came out first. This chain gang video, that Fox put out. Fox and Trek actually put that out. That we toured around the country, mainly out to California, filming all different spots out there. We went to the X Games and filmed the X Games in that video. A bunch of flatland riding and stuff like that before they didn't have flatland there. But I hear that's supposed to be coming back, which is awesome.
That is sweet.
And then Midwear, Garrett Rapp, he's the one that pretty much, him and his buddy Joe put that together. And, great video that was around for a while.
Yeah, that was great. I know I watched it, Garrett Rapp. We had him on.
It was awesome having him on here. This is awesome being on here with you guys. This is cool as hell. And then, so back in the day before the X Games and all that, there was the BS contests that were going on in the early 90s. Then those turned into the ESPN contests, and those is what evolved to like the X Games and stuff like that. So these are all like plaques and stuff for those contests before, before they turned into the big glorious X Games and stuff like that. We had Tony Hawk Free Day. A cool story is like when we were always at the pit, like people came from all around the world, really, the country, and different pros and stuff would come touring through. Tony Hawk's crew, Jay Miron, Dave Volker. It's like there's different like crews and stuff that would just come through. Some of the big pro names that are out there even riding today. But there was Tony Hawk came through one time and their whole crew was there. Yeah. And they all came in, they were all skating, and another guy, Brandon Bowen, was running the store. And I think Garrett was probably there too. And, everybody just is riding, but you have to have a wristband and all that kind of stuff to show, and the pit pass wristband. And, so they were all there. And one day the store, cause I was out on the road. And so I got a phone call. They're like, "You're not going to believe who's here." And I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Tony Hawk and his whole crew's here." And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." Brandon went up to him and was like, "Hey, you guys got $5 because you don't have your wristbands?" And then Willie Santos or something like that goes over. He's like, "Hey, Tony, you got $5?" And then he's like, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Hawk, didn't know that was you. You guys can skate for free. It's all good."
Right on.
But during that kind of stuff, I used to tour around the country.
Yeah.
And we got to hook up with Wendy's,
right on.
Coca-Cola, Vans Shoes was a big sponsor. So we toured for 2 years around the country doing shows for Trek. Well, I mean, the years I rode for Trek were more than that, but there was like a whole era of us doing like these Wendy's shows. And we gave away a free Trek bicycle at every store. And this was the half pipe. Yeah, architectural metals. Made? Yeah, custom made here in Rockford. Architectural metals, Mike Messing, built all my ramps for me when I was a kid. So before I could even drive, my dad would bring us over. I'd give him like these ramp designs. He built quarter pipes for me, box jumps, aluminum box jump that we toured around with this. He designed this. This is probably almost $70,000. I mean, this this day and age, with the way prices have changed and everything, it's probably over $100 grand.
I believe
with
that.
the hydraulic, the way that this is all designed,
This raw material cost alone has got to be.
And it was all aluminum too. So aluminum. So anyway, that was,
an entire
such
era.
such a nice ramp. So much fun to ride and tour around the country and doing shows with and stuff like that. And then there's the Trek catalog. One of the catalogs that came out of me riding there, and that's the Trek jersey that we toured around the country, and that's the jersey we wore, and
well.
And then the skateboard decks. This is pretty much in the 10 years. Oh, we'll have to when we sit down, we'll have to show the 10-year anniversary deck, because that's when it's not out here.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
so out of all the other decks, so these are all the decks that we made.
All right.
During the pit days.
And with that, we'll head back to the regular scheduled interview.
Sure.
Ready to watch the game.